Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attacker Productions. Today I, Bancroft, been joined once again by Jake and Jimmy.
What's going on, y'all?
That is not an illusion. You heard it right.
There are too many J's here.
Holy, yeah, there are. And, okay, hang on a second. For a quick second, my eyes almost played trick me. I was like, he's putting cards down, but I see no cards.
Yes, that's the trick. There's actually 10 life there. So
It has
He's doing
happened
the Ricky J snap deal. That's what he's doing.
Fair enough. Today's matchup is Jimmy versus Jake 2. The second Jake I said, just for clarification's sakes, who is playing the U7 Gohan deck, while Jimmy is bringing out the Soul Striker Goku with the Bojack engine. Take it away.
So Jake Squared, as we call you, talk about your Gohan list here, because you've been really high on this list recently.
it's pretty dope, dude. I really feel it. It's a totally original creation that I made up myself. No, I'm obviously it's I forget. I think I'm gonna say this wrong probably. UBI is their part of their channel name, and they do some stuff. And he was like, one of the guys went to Gen Con, did pretty good with it. I saw the list. I had been wanting to play the leader for a while, and so I threw it together. I did make some variations, not many. I do really like it. I run slightly different negate package than him, not by much. And then I took out the Frieza Unison. I have been considering putting it back though, because there are times when I would really love to recycle my skill list. I think it does it back to the bottom of the deck from the drop, so that's a valuable thing for sure. And you also get to combo with one from the drop when it's attacked, which would draw you a card. So valuable, but I did take it out just due to space. I think I'm at 51 cards tonight when I was playing with it.
Which, I mean, that Piccolo Unison is huge. It wrecks so many matchups. Especially in blue, once they establish the Abuni, it's like, okay, if you negate one of your tokens, is just getting blasted to the Shadow Realm. That auto should really be once per turn, but that's besides the point.
It is not. So.
But I've been a huge fan of this U7 draw engine with these skill lists, with the Android 17 and 18 that are fantastic.
Yeah, that card right there was huge all throughout the night for sure. Right here, I think I rip a Zamasu, which you don't play, by the way, in this list. Yeah, it's clearly right there. So
I believe you ripped the Abuni, and we talked about this.
I
afterwards.
did. That's right. Yep. That's right.
We talked about this afterwards, and I think that was just due to you not being very familiar with the Zamasu.
Definitely.
Which prompted you to get rid of the Abuni because you knew the oppressive nature of Abuni.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not really trying to deal with that quad strike or quad attack later, basically,
For sure. And to be honest, we talked about this afterwards. I think the best card you could have ripped from my hand was the Pinpoint Onslaught Bojack.
Yeah, we did say that. Yeah,
because that would have pushed me off. You couldn't predict my draws, but I can tell you I did not draw into another Pinpoint Onslaught. But it would have pushed me back at least one turn of not being able to cast Zamasu.
Right.
I would have had to either choose to energy exhaust Zamasu or just wait until a way later turn, which past turn, like I keep saying this, past turn 4 to 5, that's when Zamasu really loses a lot of its value. But I do get some use of Zamasu here. I can't bounce the card due to Goku having deflect, but I can use Zamasu's auto to put it in rest mode.
Yeah, and like you said, my lack of knowledge on Zamasu, because obviously if I had known that, I like to think I would have, planned ahead and been sure. That's going to come out on my Goku, which is the main point of pressure of this deck is obviously that Goku. So comboing the Broly afterward, that's always a great use for that card.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I have found with Soul Striker that I tend to awaken off of my opponent's attacks and not so much awakening off of establishing a 3-drop unison on field. which I still liked having that option, but it kind of like prompts me to not worry about playing a 3-drop unison and either move to running something that comes out a little bit faster, like a 2-drop unison, or just diving more deeper into the Majin Buu unison. Like I do like having the unisons there, but it's usually only ever used as a draw or, just to have the option of awakening.
That baby though, because it is a +2, right, on its ability.
Yeah, it is +2.
Yeah, I mean the fact that it's a +2 for me as the player on the other side of the table, I'll just say that it's so discouraging to swing into a +2 unison.
Mm-hmm.
Because the idea in your head is I don't think I'm going to be able to get rid of that. I mean, based on what's in your hand, obviously, as the player. But me looking at it, I was like, I'm not getting rid of that. That's going to stick. I can't. There's nothing I can throw at that thing that's going to get rid of it, and he's certainly not going to let me. And so having a +2 unison is crazy. That's huge for sure.
I tend to, when it comes to dealing with a +2 unison, my approach to it is usually they tend to have a very powerful minus effect. Like Baby's minus effect is fantastic. The Vegito for Gotenks has one of the most broken minuses.
Oh yeah,
on any unison.
Yeah.
So usually, instead of playing the deal of removing the unison by killing it, removing all the markers off of it, and dealing with it that way, it becomes a game of balancing the attacks into the unison so they can't achieve the minus on it.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Then that's definitely something that I do have to keep in mind. I got to remember that. I can't forget about it entirely because I think I do that in this game. I don't remember if you popped off with the minus on this one, but I did sort of just let it slip my mind. I think here I go in with another Goku, if I'm not mistaken, because 2 red cards this early in the combo area. Yeah, for only one purpose, pretty much.
And you actually went.
I think I did
you,
2.
You doubled down on this one.
Yeah, I did 2 here, and in retrospect, I might have overextended myself a little. I definitely don't die on this next turn, but I wasn't thinking I was going to kill you either. I was just thinking this is going to be a lot of pressure. He's going to have to waste a lot of resources in his hand. I wasn't thinking about Hatch. I don't think that comes out this turn. I don't remember if it did, but yeah, it's one of those things where I was like, at the very least, this is going to put a lot of pressure on him on this turn, and I don't think I'm actually going to die on the next one. Like, I really didn't. I was thinking I had another negate in hand. I don't remember exactly, but I had some stuff in hand where I was like, I don't think I'm going to die on the next turn, even if I'm tapped out. And so that was, yeah.
Which, like, that is a wall to stare down. Because the 2 coming in are going to be 30k dual attackers. The 1 already standing is a 25k dual attacker. And I do believe you say there's no more skilllesses in the deck, but they're all going to add if you had them, they're all going to add at least 1 skillless to your hand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the 25 on the one that was already on field on swing, because he does gain 5 from the swing. 2 30ks. Dual attack 30k. So yeah, I mean, it was a lot. I knew it was going to make you use a whole bunch of stuff in your hand. So that's my hope here, is just to make you waste some resources. Like, didn't think I was going to get the kill, and it did that to an extent. But your deck, from and maybe this is my lack of knowledge as a newer player, but from my experience at the shop, listening to you guys talk, watching the videos, it seems like blue sometimes has a problem with draw power. That is not the case with this. I don't know if it was just the way things went, but my God, dude, your hand size seemed to just never diminish. I was like, that's discouraging. So
that's one of the fantastic things about Soul Striker, is because it's draw 2 leader, but you also still get the energy manipulation as of other blue decks. It probably plays draw monkeys the best out of any deck in the game, because if you don't have any battle card to slam early, then you just pay 2 for a draw monkey, swing with your lead, untap the energy that you already have, and then get another draw for your trouble.
Yeah, and see, right there we were discussing if I had to search for the skillless, even if I was sure there weren't any, and we were saying, I think just to be sure, like, I'll just do the search anyway, because of the way the text reads on the card, I believe.
I don't think the card states if you do. I think it just says shuffle your deck. So kind of like the Garlic Jr. for AOD, where there's no option to do or don't. You have to shuffle afterwards.
Okay, right. Yep.
Which I don't think is really. I don't think it really matters. Like the shuffle could shuffle, something bad to the top of your deck that I would like you to have, or it could shuffle something good to the top.
You could safely shorthand 3 shuffle effects all going off at the same time to just one big shuffle.
Yeah. I just realized I saw heroines in my hand, so that I must have. I'm thinking that I drew that after I did one of the Gokus off a combo, but then I'm not thinking I had a combo, so maybe I just wasn't thinking it was going to help me much, but that's unfortunate because I'm clearly tapped out.
Which I mean, we can't see the exact life that you're at this point, but I believe you're at 4.
Yeah, 4, and that's why I felt pretty okay being tapped out. Like not great, but definitely okay because I have that other testing the op in hand. And so I'm definitely okay going down to 3 and potentially having a blocker as well. And yeah, I mean, I felt okay with that for sure.
And just guessing off of the blue matchup and what you know of the blue matchup, the worst you could have to deal with on a explosive wise and multiple attack wise is an Abuni, and testing the op, would deal with 2 of those attacks. Of course, you are taking a life, so it's the equivalent of just taking 1 damage off the attack. But you know that you're only going to have to really worry about 2 tokens off of a Boony.
Yeah, and to be honest, Obuni wasn't what was on my mind. I think you had 5 open energy in that last turn, and so I was thinking, I was kind of thinking like Baby Golden Avenger or something like that, because I had ripped that Obuni from your hand earlier, and for some reason in my head I didn't even consider the fact that of course you run 2, and so that happened, and then you just blew up that token, which that's very unfortunate.
Yeah, I was going to try to push for the kill on this turn. Or at least push to the crippling blow of forcing you to combo out your entire hand.
Yeah, and I just saw that I had a Yamcha in hand, and I probably drew it from life because I obviously would have used it on the tokens.
And this is huge.
That card was huge all night. Yeah,
this is huge.
It won me the matchup with Red Gogeta after this.
Because I had to really debate with myself where I was like, do I risk comboing up? And then I was also thinking about minusing 5 on Baby to give my leader the 30 double, which would have been 25k on swing after the imposing presence. But I do choose to just play the safe route of drawing a card. Because if I remember correctly, I do have Baby Hatch in hand at this moment, so I knew that I wasn't going to die the next turn.
Yeah. When I saw you uptick, I was wondering what was in your hand that I obviously didn't get to rip with Brawly because it was something you drew into later. I was like, oh well, he's got something now, and again, just my lack of knowledge of the matchups, but I wasn't sure, and I knew this deck was a little different than other Soul Strikers I'd faced anyway. So, but yeah, that was. When I saw that you upticked, I was like, "Oh, geez, what do we got to deal with now?" So,
yeah, I knew I was pretty safe going into this next turn, even though I am staring at 3 of the big Gokus. But I was like, I'm just going to do a little bit of field clearance in case, Baby Hatch does come down and you somehow don't die the turn after. I want to get rid of these cards right now and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, and I was really debating I was like, do I save one of them? Or do I save this one so I have 2 of them rather? And I opted to do that. I saved the one. And I also, one of the things that hurt me was I hadn't seen, I'm thinking about upping it to 3 Strategies of Universe 7. I only run it as a 2 of right now. It's good as a 2 of, but it is one of those cards where I would like to go into turn 3 when you can play one of those Gokus and have 1 in hand. And I think 3 of would not guarantee it, but make it a much higher likelihood.
I would say with 3, that's always a safe bet if you want to see it. But with a deck that draws so much or has potential to draw so much, I would assume you would have at least seen one of them by now.
I don't even think I see one this whole game. Yeah, or if I do, it like doesn't make a difference when I do. I think that's the Gohan in hand, and it had been the whole game almost since I seen him. I run 4 of him, so that just kind of goes to show that like sometimes you can't even be sure. And that's the baby hatch there, and right there, I was like, well, this is going to be interesting. And right there, I could have blown up your token with my Piccolo, I believe.
Yeah,
2. I could have blown up 2 tokens with the Piccolo, and that's a huge misplay on my part. I gotta remember that effect. It's one that I have forgotten a few times now, and it's a problem. I think I did something wrong on this play.
Yeah, I remember you thought that it was a on play effect and not an on attack effect.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is, to play a skillets from the drop. And the only reason I was going to do that, I think, was to add an extra combo piece for this upcoming turn. I wanted to get an extra skillets out there so that I could go ahead and get that. And if I do have a Gohan in hand, I have no idea why I didn't play it. I have no idea, because I would have got 2 draws if I would have. I have 1 skillets in hand, I believe. But yeah, that's interesting. So I don't quite remember. I think I take care of the baby swing. I don't think I actually take that somehow.
How many markers are on your Piccolo Unison?
At least 4.
Did you think about, after the baby hatch came down, blowing up your Yamcha with the minus effect?
It didn't cross my mind, to be honest, and it should have. That's a really good thought that you said. Or I think the reason I didn't do it is because I had already used his uptick to draw.
Okay.
I don't think I could have. Right there, I used the...
Yeah, because that would have also given you an extra life.
Yeah, so with the rejuvenate effect, I'm not even really sure how to execute that, to be totally honest, because I never have. So I was just very unsure. Right there, Heroine's the Obuni just for an extra combo piece. I was like just, doing what I could. Because this is a double strike, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to.
And you're also in a position where it's kind of hard to negate because of that -5. He could just counter you potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Spirit Boost Tapion comes in. I neg him out, which was I think a decent play.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now I'm like, well, I got 1 big swing still. It's less. I got the unison swing coming in still, but at that point I was thinking there was a chance, because I was like, well, maybe my hand size, what is that, 1 card, 2 cards? So that was discouraging. I was like, oh, that's not great.
Yeah, it was the one Gohan there.
The one Gohan, which I still don't know why I didn't play in that last turn. I had something in my head, but I don't know what it was. Took that last life to hope to draw into a negate because I have 1 open energy. I didn't. I think that's another thing that the deck needs a little more of. In my Prince Vegeta list, I ran like 8 or 9, and I felt really good about that. And in here, I think I only run like 6, and I think I'm gonna go back up to that level. But this was the combo of the world right here from Jimmy.
Exactly.
Let me count him out. Let me make him look pretty in my combo area. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine.
I mean, you're like, hey, let's play the let's combo it out for fun. Yeah.
Yeah, the Champa defensively, that's great. You gotta love that.
That's when you know you're in trouble.
That's when you know you're in trouble. Yeah. So.
Well, with that being said, hope you all enjoyed today's matchup. Keep in mind there's buttons down below and on the screen while somebody does the outro.
I'm never doing this outro. It's never gonna happen.
Since Jimmy's not doing it, there's buttons. They're on the screen, like Bancroft said. There's probably videos on the screen too right now. You can click them.
Or don't.
Or, well, we would... Yeah, it's a free country. Fluff out.